even my tweets, bro. I have like, and they're dated, right? My tweet said, "Don't buy the dip." I said, "Lower, don't buy the dip." Then I said, "Bounce, but lower." And then I said, "Sweep and bounce today."
Nice.
So the whole way down, because like people say buy the dip here, you're an asshole kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even Piper said lower here, but then we said lower, 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 bounce but lower, and then sweep and bounce, and that was the kind of play by play that I gave every day throughout this whole dump. So like, I think that's the victory in itself. Some of the and then taking the fucking trade, right? Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I called the bottom." Like, where's your fucking trade, right? Because yesterday I told you guys we were looking for the SFP, right? We have the levels. We're looking for the SFP. I mean, they gave you the hopium, right? They've been keeping giving you hopium, bullish divergence, bullish divergence. But what helps is you know where liquidity is. Simple as that. Where are the stop losses that they need to wreck before they send price, right? And you know what I found really conspiracy theory, bro?
Hit me with it. I'm ready, bro.
Bro. If you go to the timing, look at when the S&P starts to push, bro. Okay? The S&P is up only right out of the gates. Okay? Look at this. Right out of the gates, 930. Okay? Right out of the gates, bro. Look at Bitcoin. $930. Okay? We're dumping, right? We're dumping. On my live stream, we got long right here. We got long right here. And we got long right here. But look at this, man. They fake you out, so they give you the sweep, the push up, then they got you thinking down, 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 down. The S&P is up only. If we overlay Bitcoin here, I don't know, seems kind of cheeky to me, right? Look at this. Bitcoin dumping. Then we catch up on Bitcoin. Little pullback and then we go, right? The S&P knew something early, right? Even on the NASDAQ, if we overlay the NASDAQ is up only too. So for me, there was Bitcoin was playing games this morning, because if we look at Bitcoin this morning, Bitcoin dumped, man. Bitcoin was rugging everybody. We had the bull div in here, the push out, and we were, look at this, man. Like, you see this here. This is from 6 in the morning. We are straight down, bro. Like straight down. Like this is a dump, right? You look at the NASDAQ from 6 a.m. What's the NASDAQ doing? Fucking flat, bro. It's not even moving. It's sideways. Why is Bitcoin dumping? Right? NASDAQ did not dump. Just sideways, 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 sideways. A little SFP and go. We also called this SFP on the live stream for the NASDAQ. But this is bullshit. Look, Bitcoin's going like this, bro. Right? Cheeky bastards. This shows you, and you can use this as a reference point, because I always tell you guys, if you're scalping Bitcoin, to watch the NASDAQ, look at the US 100. It reacts faster than the NASDAQ, okay? If you're scalping. Otherwise, you got to pay for live data for the NASDAQ, and it's expensive. So the NASDAQ isn't fully up to date. If you look at the NASDAQ here, this is why I use the US 100. See where the NASDAQ's trading right now? Go to US 100. Totally different. It's already dumped and it's pushing back already. Look, this one's still trying to dump. So the NASDAQ, you actually have to pay money for this to be live. That's why you use the US 100, because it's almost there. It's pretty close. Okay, just so you guys know, it's a little trick. The NASDAQ's delayed. If I go to the 1 minute here, you can see the US 100 has dumped and gone sideways and pumped. You go to the NASDAQ, we've just dumped. We haven't gone sideways yet. You have to pay for this data. TradingView is cheeky like that. Okay? Because they have lots of futures traders, so they can charge a premium for the NASDAQ information. That's why. Bullshit, eh?
Yeah.
That's why I use the US 100. It's a little bit faster if you're using it as Confluence on Bitcoin. Okay? So a little bit of games being played here. Pretty wild. However, at the end of the day, the game is Jerome Powell is dovish and he's looking to cut rates, man. That's the game. We caught the SFP, we caught the trade, made the money, we've paid ourselves. We are currently still long. I have taken most of the money out, looking for a major take profit coming into the golden pocket right now. Okay, up $1,500 on this trade, trying to push up in here. Incredible, incredible. I added to virtual, I added to Arrow, okay, on my spot. The spot account today, guys, because I don't mainly trade altcoins, but today's P&L on the spot account's up $2,000, $2,500. I was allocating last night, right? So we're having a nice day. Does that mean we're out of the woods yet? Kinda, not fully. Okay, so what do we need to see happen, right? Because it's always good to enjoy these times, okay? But this could just be a macro lower high, unfortunately, okay? So we must always prepare for that, right? Because we're not out of the woods yet. So where are we looking for? Golden pocket retracements, right? I got a bunch of key levels for you guys here as well. Coming into a pink box right now. Okay, but beautiful SFP. And we want the retracement because he said so, okay? Oh, man. Let's go, baby. Okay, so going into my levels. Right now, we're coming into a pink box liquidity level right now, so that's why I'm looking to take profits in this area, coming to sweep the high. Okay, major resistance. And then obviously up in here, that golden pocket area up in here is going to be a major resistance as well. And a couple of liquidity levels on the way down, okay? But this is where I'm looking for our first rejection at 16.8. And what do we look for? We look for retest of previous highs. Now that we've changed structure on a higher term time frame, we're looking for the retest of previous highs. So we're looking to come back and go, right? Probably like a 382 if we're going from high to low. Yeah, 382, right? So aggressive breakout, but also I don't believe that this thing is going to be like this, okay? If it's going to just be like this all the way, all the way to the moon. I don't think this is reality, okay? When stuff like this happens, okay, great. You're looking to come back at minimum halfway down the candle. In general, right? In general. So be aware. This is not where you buy unless you want to average into a trade. If you maybe take a little stab here, you can average in, but not aggressively. What are you looking at, OC?
Oh, nice. Let's do it. All right. So my setup are slightly
you are long.
Yes, I'm long. but why then I don't get the question or the statement.
Where do you think we're going to make a lower high, or do you think we are Valhalla?
Oh, lower high. Well, not lower high. I think we're gonna making a meaningful high and then a higher low. I think we're still gonna be ranging. Let me go to
Range bound.
Bitcoin. Yeah, range bound. Let me go to but change of phase, like from negative to positive. So right here,
Hmm.
this is Bitcoin. Yeah, and I had or we had yesterday a long here. So you can see right here, main entry at 1/4 of a position, right? And then secondary trade if we get stopped out. So out of my main entry here, so there it is. I got stopped out right there. I was looking at I think a higher entry somewhere around there. And I was thinking that all right, you know what? And this is where they got me. Most likely, 1 second. I need it's not gonna take me 1 minute. Sorry, my dog was just crying to get out of the room. Here, so I was looking for this entry right there, and then I was saying, you know what? Well, in fact, it was something like this. You know what? We could still have enough inertia because we were having that flip of the ribbon, we were having that bullish divergence, and then we having that peak seeker, right? Because we had the peak seeker, which is the confluence um, indicator that well we might have enough inertia to break through, all right, going somewhere around here and then coming back down and then a possible reentry. But there is a slight chance that we have a double bottom, or there's a slight chance that we come back to this area. So I was looking here is a secondary entry if we got stopped out. So my alert of my stopped out ringed. Here we go. Come back down like that, ringed, did not hit my entry alert. But on the way up, I was already looking at the charts. And on the way up, that's when I caught it again. So it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was almost at the very bottom. It would have been way better, of course, if my entry would have ringed in here. But I mean, at this point, I just need to say that I was being greedy, all right? So to try to catch the very, very, very bottom of it. Nonetheless, I did had a little bit of a stop loss in here, and then reopening up my next entry at the same area that I had my stop loss, but on the way up on that candle. So that played out. Took some profits right here at 115 and another one at 116, and I still have a 25%. Oh, come on, that doesn't look like 25% open trade on Bitcoin. Another one that played out, and I think you're gonna love it, is XRP. XRP did the same. So I was looking at this one, same strategy here. Remember, 1/4 and 1/4 for a total of a 1/2, and I was trying to allocate another quarter all the way down here in case we have that sweep of some lows. So far, this was the entry. Here it is coming back down. It took me out, and then on the way up, well, that's where we jump in for that entry right there. So we hit it off, taking profit. I took some profit at 301, and then on the way down, I closed that trade at 295. So I'm already out of XRP. And in many of the altcoins, I think that this is what we're going to be having, except on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I think that's where we're going to be having the change of phase. So from negative to positive. But in most of the altcoins, we're hitting dynamic reactor or we're hitting a big resistance. Right here, we're putting a meaningful high. So for me, it will make sense to come back down, maybe not quite low, but somewhere around there, and I can start bringing up my indicators to see where around we could be coming or having a retracement. And I just don't see a clear picture, but maybe somewhere around there. Coming back down in here to create a higher low, and then to then start looking for that maybe breakout or range bound. So that's what I still don't know on the 4 hours if we're gonna have a breakout or a range bound. But I think we need to see that correction happening. The story is a little different on Bitcoin. Let me go back to Bitcoin. And that is because not only Bitcoin leads the way, but let's just wait for it to load. And come on, here we go. On Bitcoin, we are breaking dynamic reactor. That doesn't mean that we're gonna held, but the movement of Bitcoin it's way bigger, not in percentage, but in relative size of all the not all the altcoins, but many of the altcoins. We're having a 4.27%, 4.4% movement in one single candle, right? That's the size of the candles that we see when we drop, not when we go up, right? I mean, unless we are in these kind of movements, but we're not. I mean, or at least I was considering that we were not on this kind of movement. So, which means in here for me, it is that we are getting that liquidity pushed through. And look at that. We're having breaking out not only dynamic reactor, but also our trend line, our nemesis trend line all the way up here. All right. So we're hitting the 116. That's where I took, again, another 50% out of whatever was left. I still have 25% in, and I'm going to be leaving it just to see what happens because we're still below our zero line. Yes, just like any other altcoin, we have our peak seeker, we have our higher low, right? We have our bullish divergence. Well, then now's the time to see it breaking through, and that's when I go in with a serious entry, right? So no more quarter and quarter entries for me. No more half of an entries for me. Coming back or breaking back above the dynamic reactor, having that retest and off we go. So that's what I need to see on Bitcoin, and I think that's what we're gonna have, right? I still can't say it for sure because I need a bigger of a movement in here for when we come back down, we can have some support on the dynamic reactor. So let's go to a cleaner chart. And in this one, let's just clear this up in here. Let's wait for that. There we go, dynamic reactor to play it out. And if I start turning on, there we go, my liquidity zones and my trend lines, you'll see that this is going to be the area that I want to hit, maybe in a second candle or even a third candle, to then come back onto the dynamic reactor and finally make that push to Valhalla. So this action right here most likely is going to make people start taking profits out of altcoins, pushing it into Bitcoin, having the retracement on altcoin, having the retracement on Bitcoin, and then the allocation of Bitcoin will be, or allocation of USDT or USDC is going to get injected back into Bitcoin, leaving us with a bad taste, thinking that we're going to have a altcoin season where we don't have the rotation of capital. So that is my thought at this point. So that's why I'm being very careful with what I trade. There is one trade that we were stuck on, right? And let me see if I can bring up YouTube here really quickly. And on YouTube, where is it? All right, yep. Let's go to playlist. This one here. And this was yesterday's session, all right? And yes, on yesterday, we were looking at, for example, one of the trades, for example, grass. On grass, we were struggling for a little bit in here, and that is because we were looking for that entry. Not only that, we were also a little bit low throughout some time. So yesterday, we decided to close it and also take some profits right there on grass. And I think this is exactly what's going to happen with the rest of the altcoins after this pump, but in a manner of a different thing. And look at that today. We're taking some profits, moving stop to entry, and coming back down. Yes, we did another little line in there, but at the end of it all, we're having that kind of like a retracement. I know not everything is like that. For example, ADA. I mean, ADA pumped, right? Link pumped. What are one? XLM. Oh, I was looking at XLM, by the way, pumped. XRP pumped. But if you start looking at those assets, yes, we have broken a trend line, but we are below dynamic reactor and we're not breaking through that zero line. Like, for example, XRP, XLM, well, Solana. Solana is a little bit of a different story here. By the way, great area of entry that you called out yesterday. I was also looking at
Fire,
that.
bro.
Fire, absolutely. And here it is. By the way, this is the chart that we were looking at yesterday, right? Where we were calling, yeah, well, I was already into a trading there, but you also had an alert, a little bit of a better positioning right there, somewhere around 177, right? And look at that at the very bottom, man. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. Yeah, you call that out a better entry for me. That was a support. I front run it, and well, right now we see that result.
Still making
Uh,
money, bro.
Still making money. Absolutely.
He buys
But
tops and he makes money. He's the magic. He's the magic man. Don't ever
absolutely.
underestimate his superpowers.
Oh man, it's just I mean it's just like we do it here. Like I mean not that we buy the tops, but risk management, right? Risk management. We have a little bit of a different strategy, but having a strategy will save your ass, guys, when you are in trouble, especially when you calculate your stop loss in a right way. So yeah, I mean that soul trade, fantastic. Other alerts that I want to go over was Bitcoin taking profits and entry, of course. Ina, I was aiming a little bit lower, so I'm a little pissed out of Ina because it did not went back down to my entry point. And look at that movement, bro. I mean that is one that I like. Another one that it's got me, it's LTO, not quite there in that entry. Took my taking profits, but did not enter. TIO was a fantastic, phenomenal entry right there at 3307. 3307, where is it? Right here. At, well, TP1, TP2 rejection. And I want you guys to notice that everything is playing out not like Solana. Solana is kind of like that one outlier, right? That is following a little bit more onto Bitcoin. And that leads me to take a look at, or to want to take a look at Ethereum. All right. And Ethereum, that was a little bit of a controversial trade for me because fuck Ethereum. But here it is. All right. So I had a small position in here, front run it, and then looking for that came back in. It did not came back in. Let me zoom in here so we can see it right there. It did not came back in. And well, what happened? It just blew off. So once again, freaking Ethereum slipping through my fingers, man. I don't know. Freaking slimy Ethereum. I hate it. And well, that was basically what played out yesterday. And just a little bit of a proof of concept, guys, that we also called these things out in this class. You can watch it on the recordings. On the night, I also look for those possible entries. For example, this is BTC. This is where we were going for, there you go, our secondary entry if we get stopped out, right? What was our next entry? Here's the exact point where we decided to open up our main entry right there. What happens? It played out phenomenally, right? So there it is. And for example, other stuff that did not play out was Ethereum. Here you go. This was the area that we were looking into. And well, it came back down, a small entry. That was our entry, taking some profits and then looking for it to come back down or break out retest for plan B, right? So stuff are pumping up, right? And we knew that something interesting is that on Link, I was expecting it to go lower because we had not only a broader wedge, but we also had a possible double top. Let's go and take a look at, or as my dyslexia likes to say, let's check a look at a Link. So where is Link? Here is Link. All right, so we have our huge broadened wedge. We were hitting this area right here. I was expecting a breakout, retest, continuation down, but look at that, it actually pumped. So important is that, I mean, at least in my case, I cannot just trade every single coin out there. I mean, if I want to make sure that I do the best with my money, it's like trying to look for the best, the absolute best setups and allocate my money on those setups. I mean, how many altcoins do we have, right? Or at least how many altcoins are we looking at? So trying to spread as wide, I don't think that is going to be the way. And that's what I allocate my money in, just a couple of altcoins there. Buck says, hey, OC got Mexican spaghetti of the month. Thank you, brother. Love it. Love it. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I got so far on the altcoin side. I would say let's keep trailing it as it goes up. And there's not much to say. We're running into the weekend. Low volume. although we have a big mover, so that's what I'm thinking, that throughout the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, we might have a retracement, and then maybe Monday a pump. But what are your thoughts jumping into the weekend?
The weekend.
Yeah, the weekend.
Let me see here. I'm just trying to So whenever we get a push on altcoins, what I like to check is the Russell. So let me show you guys. Because the Russell, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Russell, but I check the Russell quite often. The Russell kind of is something that's going to give us the indication of altcoin season. Okay, like there's many things you can watch. You can watch others. You can watch, you can watch others charts. You can do realized RUPL, RUPL, Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance, global liquidity, right? There's a bunch of charts, but I really like the Russell because it just shows me what expansion looks like. What is expansion, right? So expansion is simply when the market decides to go, you can see COVID in here, but you can see when the market decides to go into expansion, right? You typically get an altcoin season. If you look at BNB here, we overlay BNB. BNB had an amazing run, but you can see how it stalled out just the same here before it went on its parabolic rise, right? Expansion. Okay. You can see here consolidation, pretty good. Bear market, pretty good. What are we doing now? So we're trying to get into, yeah, Russell's the shit coins of TradeFi. Exactly. It's the penny, it's like penny stocks or whatever you want to look into, right? So the Russell, I've been watching this ever since we got the inverse head and shoulders. I remember telling you guys, this is the bull sign here. We were looking for that. And then the expansion is into here, right? And right now we've had a clean neckline retest continuation trade. Okay, on the Russell. So this to me is risk on for stock market. This means we're going into the overheated zone. How far do we expand? This time is not my call, but this is, if we break and push these highs in here, okay, we're going into expansion, meaning we're in price discovery, meaning we can just go simply like this, and we can go here to here, right? And we can mark out all these levels here. Because if you look at this one, right, we go swing high to swing low, right? And where did we get to last time, right? So we go swing high to swing low, and we got to our 1618, right? This would be a nice time to take profits going into this pump, right? So if we get into expansion, meaning higher highs and all that stuff, we should be looking in these areas, okay? So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. You can look at things like others dominance, okay? Others dominance hasn't even budged yet, guys, okay? So it's, in my opinion, you're getting more of a signal from the Russell right now. We need to see a higher high. That's why I have an alert here on our others, okay? So these are the things that I'm watching right now. I would like to see that in continuation, but the Russell's already shown us strength, right? If we go over to USDT dominance, right? Also add this to your chart, guys. If we're up in here, 15% others dominance, sell motherfucker, okay? That's the that's the sell motherfucker level, okay? If you're holding altcoins and we get up into here, I got a front run on that level. 13.5%. This is your sell motherfucker. This is expansion. This is, if we get up in here, this is altcoins are euphoric, okay? Same with USDT dominance, okay? Below 3% is sell motherfucker USDT dominance, okay? Okay, that means nobody's holding stable coins. That means people are holding assets, meaning we need to get out of assets and into stable coins because this thing's going to go up. Okay, and you can see that worked out quite well over here in the last one. Okay, so these are the things I'm watching always. You guys should always be watching these and checking them, setting alerts, right? But look at this. Perfect rejection from a trend line, man. What? There's nothing better than a trend line, bro. Like, this is the simplest shit in the world, bro. And it worked so well. Like, 3 drives, bearish divergence, SFP of the high, rug pull, right? I mean, dynamic reactor is probably better than a trend line, but you know, we'll say that, you know, very simple. Doesn't have to be complicated, right? So these are the things that I'm watching right now. I am concerned about how the Nasdaq behaved this morning. We'll see, but it's right back into this massive bull trend, guys. Right back in it. Deviation out of the range, right? Back into this. So it all looks really good. So for me right now, I mean, we are looking for a pullback. So if we're looking for pullbacks, what are the things that we're looking for a pullback? So if we're here teaching the lesson, right? And you have put in your high and you've broken down, right? And then you've SFP'd and you've bounced and you've broken a high, right? That's what you've done. You've broken this high. This is where we're at with most things right now, okay? So how do you trade this? Well, to understand how to trade this, we understand that there's going to be liquidity at all these highs, all the way up, okay? So those are targets to take that liquidity at the highs if you're taking profits. But if we're coming back down, right, we're looking for retest of previous highs. We're looking for order blocks on the way up as well. And we're looking for volume support, okay? So you can use our volume tools. You can pull a fixed range volume profile tool within here too and see where your volume spikes are, okay? You can look for order blocks. You can look for retests of previous highs, okay? And that's how I'm going to target these things. So if I'm looking at my Bitcoin chart, let's do Ethereum because I always do Bitcoin, and I know how much OC loves Ethereum. So we're going to do Ethereum, okay? So key levels, right? So first and foremost, we called the low on Ethereum this morning anyways, by the way. I don't want to toot my horn, but you know, we did a very good job this morning. So where are we going to look? Okay, very simple. Up only, right? So we're going to look here. 1, right? We're going to pull volume in here. We're going to look through here. Okay, look at all these little jolts up in here, right? So these are all going to be areas of interest. Now we understand there's liquidity in this high that we are currently just about to take and liquidity in this high that we're just about to take. Where would you pull back to, right? Where do you see support? Well, you can see in here, there's a volume level. So I would look in here. Okay, you can see in here, there's that volume level. So I'd maybe raise this one up just a little bit here to catch that high and accommodate that volume level, right? You can see what we're doing in here, value area high of this range. Okay. Into the weekend, we should expect sideways always, right? What typically happens on the weekend, guys, if you want to know the secret, is it moves one way on Saturday and it goes back on Sunday. Either way. And then you end up in the same spot. That's typically what happens. And you can go and back test that, but it's pretty accurate. Then we're going to get into our tools, right? So you're going to pull up your order blocks. Okay, order block, okay? Liquidity, order block. Do we think we're coming down here? No, not really. Okay, so I'm going to isolate price. I'm going to go through here. No data in this candle yet, right? 15-minute. No data in that candle. Oh, that works out with that low. Okay, so there's some liquidity in this low, I bet. Okay. You can turn on a fair value gap, but how are you going to trade a fair value gap that's like this, guys? Okay. It's not reasonable, right? So you're gonna have to go into small term time frames, right? Small term time frames. So you got liquidity in the low, you got the push up here. Okay. You got an order block in here, so you can look for the retest into this area. We know volumes here, we know volumes here. I'm gonna pull a fib from swing low to swing high. Okay, 382 matches up nicely in there. VWAP's up in here, so we can actually raise this up a little bit. Okay, what we want to do is bring our key levels closer to where price action actually is. So we can look for pullbacks here and continuation here, pullbacks here, continuation here. We want to set the trap. Set the trap. Okay, that's going to really help us. Okay, when it's up only, it's not easy to navigate, right? You can see stops along the way on the shorter term time frame. So price stalled out a little bit here, price stalled out a little bit here. Look at that. We got some order blocks, right? So you can mark these out as singular confluences, not major confluences, but singular. So I will mark these out like this because they don't have a lot of data. So I have to kind of go through with a fine tooth comb. Okay. Then you get all this in here. Then you can throw on your like dynamic reactor on a shorter term time frame. I would say like a 5-minute dynamic reactor, and see where price gets to. I like the 8-minute, if I'm being honest. The 8-minute dynamic reactor is kind of my my little baby. So we got these levels in here. So we've done our job now. What else can we look for? So we gotta wait. We gotta have time on our side. So we want to see time on our side. Okay, we have our areas where we can get a bounce. When we get into these areas, we want to use our oscillator for confluence. Okay, are we oversold? Do we have a goose head? Do we have a SFP? Do we have, we want to wait for that established higher low, right? Just like with this low in here on Ethereum, right? You can see rolling over. What do we got? Bull div, overextended, up reversal. Okay, calls the up reversal right here. Okay, so you're waiting for this. You can, if we break down here, right, you can draw the trend line. Wait for the break of the trend line, right? Long here. Holding support, holding the dynamic reactor. Okay? You're not buying the top. Just like I was this morning, I wanted to short here. I believe it was here. And I said, we're too close to the bottom. It's not worth the risk. Okay? So before the class starts, maybe Sublime. Or you can mute it. Yeah, you can mute it. We're both coming from like other shows, so it's not easy for us to turn on music and get. We come in and we're like right back into it. OC just finishes wrapping up his. I finished wrapping up some Discord updates and having breakfast with my son, and then we're here teaching you guys. So it's like a tight window, and we always try our best to be on time, but it's not easy because we're both coming. But just a joke. Oh, we can get some better elevator music. Maybe we get Mexican elevator music. They just add a maraca, like a chicka 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 chicka. Oh man, love it.
I'm gonna try to find a version.
So that's how you. Oh man, Mexican elevator music. I don't even know what you're gonna come across, man. You might come across some naughty things. Oh man,
could be. We'll see.
Elevator music. What do we got here? All right, we got to do it. I mean, here we go. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's do it, baby. For my favorite Mexican.
El luchadores at the top, man. That's hilarious.
No wonder you guys are so happy, man. That's too good, bro.
That's actually Mexican music. No kidding.
It's really good.
Love it,
I
love
might
it.
buy the album.
Oh, well, it's kind of boring. It's a little bit more of the same. But
Yeah.
when you change genre, that's when things get a little bit more fun.
My favorite is the Gypsy Kings. Bambaleo.
Oh, Bambolero,
Yeah.
Bambolero. Oh, love it,
La
love it.
Vidasti. Love it, man. That's the best, bro. That's the best.
Oh yeah, they're good. They're good.
It it's so like, yeah.
Oh, La Bamba. Oh yeah, I actually learned how to play La Bamba in guitar a long time
La
ago.
Bamba is good, yeah. And Volare.
Oh,
Vo-
Volare. That's also a good one. Yes.
Volare.
La cucaracha.
Oh. Oh,
Oh,
too
love
good.
it. Oh,
That's my favorite. So we're now, OC. Down.
down.
We're hitting the pink box.
I'm actually looking
I think
to maybe open up some shorts. That's exactly what I was actually right now in trying to get at. Like you were talking about Ethereum, and we're getting to meaningful highs, right? So again, I think we should be having a lower time frame, 15 minutes pullback or something. And maybe in just maybe we can profit out of it. By the way, have you seen gold? Gold was pumping and that has a big-ish retracement.
uh-oh. What's wrong with gold?
I don't know. That is not Bitcoin, maybe. All right, so this is gold. We're having that little retracement. I think gold's leading the way. Let's go to the 4 hours really quickly. Here's what I'm seeing on gold. On gold, I did had an average entry between one area and another area with the FIVP's entry. If you're not familiarized, the FIVP is a chart prime indicator where it gives you areas of confluence based on your Fibonacci's, right? So this is Fibonacci's makes easy, by the way. So I did had a compound entry, and yep, I was very close to stopped out, but finally played out very nicely. We're having that little retracement. That leads me also to believe that in many other zones where we're hitting highs, like for example, Link, we could be looking into a maybe 15 minutes, 5 minutes retracement. And well, where are we gonna be maybe looking into it? Let me let my indicator load. Here it is. I would say it when we start losing that 0.9. All right, so maybe a little bit up and then coming back down to catch dynamic reactor. That is the trade I want to take for a short. That is a dangerous trade because we're highly, highly, highly bullish at this point. But maybe going every, I mean, if you guys took one or two of the trades that we called out yesterday or even today, you should be good with some extra profits. So taking the risk should not be that big of a deal, especially if you're doing low leverage, low position size, and having a stop loss, right? I'm not pushing you to short anything, by the way, but that is what I'm looking into to maybe go for some retracements. In fact, I already have tried once, and that it was come on, where is it? Ada. Ada or Link. No, Ada. It was Ada. There it is. So here was my short, and this is how it went. Let's go to the 5 minutes or 15 minutes. And as we were hitting this resistance right here on this candle, I open up a short. And I don't know what is it not showing, but let me see. Maybe moving to 30 minutes. 4 hours. Come on. It was just right there. Did I delete it? All right, whatever. It was right here on this resistance area, looking for that retracement. It played out very nicely, but still moved myself to entry. Thought we were gonna keep going downwards, but it took me out already into, I mean, at zero. Not gains, not losses, not anything, just at entry point. Nonetheless, that's what I'm looking for. Like for example, right here we're having that goose head. That goose head indicates a little retracement, then for a further move to the upside, and then a bigger retracement. but I'm just not seeing that retracement happening. But that's what that's the one that I'm looking for into the 15 minutes. But so far, that's what I got in between my hands. I'm gonna be taking everything right now calmly. We just hit some jackpots, at least 4 of those. And well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't give it back.
yeah, exactly. Don't give it back. I mean, over trading might be the doomsday for you if you don't manage your risk, right? So I think being happy for what we got, it's the way to go. And then retrace, replan, re-engage, and again make some more profits. And then other stuff that I would like to advise you guys, look at your here, let me just show you the name. Your linear regression oscillator. All right. I have added a ADX to it. But right now we have a peak performance, and look at the history of those peak performance down, right? Peak performance down, another peak performance down, peak performance up, another peak performance, and then there you go, peak performance up. So I use those peak performance diamonds to tell me when are we going to be having those returns. And oops, look at that. There you go. It's not for sure right now, but if we start losing that, maybe I don't know, maybe going to your round, your kingdom, Alex, into the 3 minutes, into the lower time frames, I might be venturing right there. We're breaking some trend lines in here. Could be that we could be going for a break or retest and continuation. We'll see. But once again, I'm not really into like really pushing into a short. If I see the opportunity, I'll take it. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? Oh, and I'm not sharing. I thought I was sharing screen.
I thought you're what? Oh.
Yeah, I thought I was sharing. Let me just show it really quickly. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. So I was saying, like, for example, in here, this is the entry I took for a short right here on this candle, and then start moving downwards, but then took me out at 0. And right now on the 3 minutes, we might be breaking some trend lines in here, right? We have a big body candle. So maybe waiting for breakout, retest, continuation downwards might be the way. But again, as Alex mentioned, don't give back whatever you have made. I mean, those were very good trades. So I'd rather wait for a little bit more time, maybe this on my oscillator. And if I see this higher low, that's when maybe I start jumping in for the short. But so far, weekend, let's just enjoy it and let's roll with it. But we have reached the end of the class today, guys. Quick thing, Piper is not gonna be on the TA Plus today, so we will have to cancel the session. But don't worry, when I have an extra class, he's got a lot of information to show on the work site, and I think that also has to do with what we're gonna be looking after this movement. So it seems like Gypsy has some, as he said, in I quote, liquidity issues. So I think she's dumping. She had something that Gypsy ate something that she shouldn't. Oh man, that Chihuahua crying, bro. That breaks my heart, man. Don't do that. I felt it, man. I love it. So other than that, guys, that's all I got. Alex, would you like to wrap up and say the
Yeah,
goodbyes?
have a great weekend, everybody. It's been fun. Good news. Trade safe. Good luck into the weekend. Touch some grass, touch some ass, whatever you're into, man. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.
You're gonna make me trade grass again, bro.